We are living in the strangest of times, times that have been quite rightly called by so many unprecedented, times during which we are facing what has also been called by so many an invisible enemy, the enemy of a particular and virulent disease, COVID-19, which in the United Kingdom has so far claimed more than 25,000 lives, and across the world more than 250,000 lives. Fears for the future, personal future, the economic future, national futures. Fear abounds, and anxiety, loneliness and isolation are characteristics of many, many lives, again across the world, but also in our local communities. On this day in 2020, then, uncertainty about the future is perhaps one of the very few certainties around. On this day in 1945, the world was looking forward with some uncertainty to its future, but looking forward after the defeat of not an invisible enemy, but an all too visible one, the enemy of Nazism. In Europe, that had been defeated. This was an evil that was brutal and terrifying. It was an enemy which wrought horrific, calculated and targeted destruction and suffering upon many, far too many. And that suffering was wrought not least upon the innocent, upon people deemed to be in the minds of those who were that enemy in the flesh, to be worthless, to be valueless, perhaps to be untrustworthy, a threat and of no account, people who were deemed to be expendable. That visible enemy and the evil which it represented, the calculating ideology which drove it, had to be confronted, had to be faced down, and had to be defeated. Achieving such a defeat would demand a supreme effort of will, of commitment, all rooted in the conviction and the hope that good would ultimately prevail. It did prevail, and that it did so was viewed by many as little short of a miracle, and the cost was enormous. As for the human cost, well, there's no exact figure, but it's estimated that between 70 and 85 million people perished in that conflict, World War II. More people than the entire present population of the United Kingdom, somewhere between 20 and 30 times the present population of Wales. Such a vast number is almost impossible to comprehend. But what we must comprehend is that each single life lost was the life of someone loved, someone precious, someone unique. Each life lost also marked the destruction of hopes, the ruin of dreams. Each life lost cast a consequently dark shadow over many other connected lives. The means which had to be employed in securing the defeat of Nazism in Europe were themselves sometimes dreadful, sometimes fearful, but they were deemed to be right and necessary. So today, 75 years on, please join with me. Join with me in lamenting the necessity of war, the waste so often of precious lives and resources. But more importantly, join with me in giving thanks, profound thanks, for each and every single one of the countless acts of sacrifice, of bravery, and of sheer determination, which meant that a very visible and a very dreadful enemy was defeated. So now please for a moment join with me in prayer. God of truth, God of love, freedom and justice, hear the prayers of thanksgiving which we offer for those who in their lives wrought the defeat of Nazism in Europe. Hear our thanks for their bravery, their commitment. Hear our thanks for their sacrifice, and grant us in our own time to prize the freedom which they won, to love the peace which they helped build, and in our words and deeds make us people of love and peace, who seek justice and freedom for all in our own time and in our future. We make this prayer through your Son, Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace. Amen.